did win a couple of games against West Indies A. As Rafiola comes into the attack for the first time. That's going to be a wide down the leg side. But certainly going to that World Cup where they were so good, they nearly beat South Africa, which would have been one of the biggest upsets maybe in the history of the game. They lost by 1 run off the very final ball. Man. Heartbreaker.
Yes.
I'll show you some footage actually when we come off air. Amazing game of cricket. Very nearly beat Bangladesh, who are another one of the test nations. But since then, they did have a break. But 4 ODIs here, lost all 4. You could just see yesterday it was a confidence thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, you could tell. You could see the body language. See this run up. The body language, that last diving catch, you know, it's tough in any team sport, especially with the grind that cricket seems to be. You mentioned, like, all these different tournaments, you're traveling, you're far away from home. It's so important to stick together and keep that chemistry and positivity going regardless of the result. You know, focus on the process. It's hard. I've been on basketball teams that stink, that lose a ton of games. But you just got to stick together and stick with it and know things will change if you do that. Coach Popovich, Greg Popovich, legendary NBA coach, 2 things. He's a big fan of the term pounding the rock. You know, you pound the rock.
What does that mean?
You hit the rock with the hammer 100 times without so much.
It's eventually
going to crack.
Yeah.
But on the 101st blow, it splits in half. And
you just got to keep
single
working.
Blow, it was the 100 that came before.
Yeah.
And then he has another phrase: the worm will turn. Like, if you're about the right things, eventually your fortunes will change. The worm will turn. You know, on the Spurs, when we were having tough moments, tough times, those were the 2, like, foundational messages that would kind of get us through back on track.
What was kind of, I suppose, the longest period? Was it, you know, a 20-game streak?
Yeah, well,
was there like a period?
We were really good on the Spurs when I played there. We won 2 championships. We were a contender every year. So
you didn't have a long.
It wasn't that long. Yeah, maybe we'd lose 2 or 3 games.
How many games you play in a season? It's a lot, isn't it?
82 regular season, and then however many in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so playoffs is like a second season if you go all the way.
Because it's like a best-of-7, best-of-5 match series, that sort of stuff.
The playoffs are like 2 months.
Big swing and a miss. Kushal Malla just continues to look a little out of form as the outside edge is beaten. Rafiola,
and you're seeing the body language now is what I'm talking about. I don't know if you're kind of sensing some of the body language stuff with these 2 batters. Like, it doesn't matter. You got to stay positive. You got to keep the energy.
Yeah, it's what it's all about. And I suppose the problems for Nepal haven't so much been with the ball and in the field, they've been with the bat.
Yep.
And that's the kind of the sole thing you do individually in cricket. You know, when you're bowling, you got all your teammates out there supporting you in the field. When you're batting, it's just you and your partner. But really, it's about how you bat individually. As that's a big full toss. Now, it's going to be a no ball. So even if this is taken, it won't be out. Both umpires immediately indicating that because this is not pitched and it's gone over the waist high of the batter, it is a no ball. That's a good decision for me. Malla will get a single, but critically, as the 50 comes up, Asif Sheikh is going to get a free hit. And what that means, Matt, whatever happens here, he can't be out.
Love that. Let it rip.
It's a free hit. You do what you want. Now, the only little advantage for Rafiola is that because the batters have changed, he's allowed to change his field. So what he'll do is he'll set a very defensive field. Everyone will probably go back.
Why did that happen? Did the ball just slip for the bowler?
Yeah, so what he's doing there, he's looking to hit the block hole right up towards the white line, which is we call the popping crease there, and that's a very difficult place to hit the ball. But sometimes you just get it that even fraction wrong, your release point. The Yorker, which is what we call the ball when it goes up there, turns into a full toss. And actually, he'll get a warning for that. If he bowls one more of those, he's going to be out of the attack. Here comes the free hit. No real timing. It was a slower ball. Doesn't matter if it's caught. It's not a drop chance. Don't worry. Wouldn't have been out even if it was caught. So 1 more run to the total and not too much damage done. But Rafiola, who's only come into this squad for the T20s, just battling a bit, isn't he? Not hitting his lengths and not bowling particularly well.
So the team that's batting, you know, just spatially on the field, how much can they hear from the rest of the team sitting off to the side there?
Yeah, so it really will depend on the coach and depend on on kind of the setup of the team. Some of the coaches are very active. They even actually sometimes walk around the boundary. You are now allowed to do that. A little bit of a change to the playing conditions a little while ago was that when we do have drinks breaks, the coaches are actually now allowed to go out, a little bit like you would in a basketball timeout, and kind of get the instructions more baked in. But the captain on the field, he is almost like the coach. So they've got a huge role to play. They make all the bowling changes. They decide who's going to go into which position. They'll consult with the bowler as to when they want to bowl and the like. But really, some would actually describe the captain as in cricket as more like the kind of the team kind of manager, the team coach. It's not like in soccer or in rugby where really it's just a ceremonial thing. It's the guy who shakes hands at the start. In cricket, it's a massive role, and the difference between a good captain and a bad captain is very, very noticeable.
I can imagine. How important is it for the captain to be one of the better players on the team? Does that matter?
Edged, and it's going to be edged away for 4. Well, a spectacular effort from Pratik Attavele, but it's not a great first over from Raffiola. It goes for 10, and with 9 bowled, the score is 55 for 2.